Doom Eternal Rune Tier List from Lifesavers to Awful. Let's go. So first of all, we have Savagery. Where will this one go? I'm going to say it's going to go to B. Can see how they'd help because it's really good. It gets you in and out of a situation really, really quickly. And that way the monsters don't crowd you. You can just go and be done with it. And it also takes away time from waiting on a glory kill, which is pretty nice. The only thing is, I have to say that is down about it is that when you're in those glory kills, that gives you time to be able to bring your shield back to recovery for the chain gun shield buffer. And when you don't have as much time in a GK, you have less time for that. So B, can see how they'd help because it is pretty good. Seek and Destroy. This one is, it's all right. There are a couple uses. I'd say very A, almost circumstantial in C. Here's why. Seek and Destroy has a really cool thing that someone in my Discord, Tom, was showing me about doing a precision bolt directly into a long distance glory kill, like nearly frame perfect, crazy stuff, which is pretty cool. And it also has a usage whenever you are in a berserk, like in Art Complex, to be able to just reach and grab and go from far away so you don't have to worry about getting so close. Altogether, I wish it could be circumstantial, but man, it's just very for me. Blood Fueled, Lifesaver, really useful. Which of these? This is actually one of my personal runes that I use, and I love it because it's really nice. I'm going to, oh gosh, it's one of these two. I'm going to give it really useful. Dang it. I really want to put it in Lifesavers. I really do, but I can't because it is great. It is well, here's the thing. It's my second rune that I grab whenever I'm playing, more than likely. After, you know which one's first. It's just not quite to the Lifesaver tier yet, although it probably should be. See, the thing about Blood Fueled is when you get that glory kill, you're in and out of there super fast, chain gun shield ready to go. When you get that chainsaw, boom, in and out really fast. And you know what? Dang it. It's going into the Lifesaver S tier. It's just too good. It's so nice to have. Maybe we'll flip-flop. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do Dazed and Confused next. No, we'll do Saving Throw. This will be a good one. Saving Throw is going to go under, where would you put it? I think it would be, oh man, A. It's an A tier because it's not an S tier. It is, well, it's actually a Lifesaver. Literally it is, but I can't put it there because it's a paperweight in battle. It does nothing for your combat. So that's why I switch out to it when I'm ready to go for it. And the only thing about it is it's nice when you need it. Its purpose, what it does well. I mean, it has a single purpose, and dang it if it doesn't do it really well. But that's just the thing about it. It's not an S tier because it's not well-rounded. You don't use it every second in combat. But man, when you need it, gosh, it is there for you. Let's take a look at a support rune next. Let's go, speaking of life, let's go to Take Back. Oh, this was very interesting. I think this rune would probably fall under either, okay, this is an interesting one. Very A at first because it's not useful in Extra Lives mode. It's not in Ultra Nightmare. You can't use it on either. So getting that extra life back on a game where you can just load your checkpoint anyway, it's not that great. It's really not, but it does help because you can extend that fight if you can go get your life back. Now with the advent of Horde mode, I'm going to bump it up to C, circumstantial, because you get that extra life back and it helps to your score, only 1,000 points, but it is very circumstantial, and hey, I think it could be pretty useful there. All right, what's next? How about Punch and Reave? Now, this is not one I use very much, because Punch and Reave, you punch them and you get health back for your health and your blood punch, and all of it stacks up in more punches, and that's great, especially if you have a heavy blood punch playstyle. But to my knowledge, someone correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't really give you that much more for a heavy than it does for a fodder, so you're really best doing fodder packs or multiple enemy kills if you can string those together like Ice Bomb, Flame Belch. So overall, oh man, I don't know if I want to put it in awful or very A. We'll just put it there for now. It's got a purpose, it just kind of sucks to me. If you like it, I'm sorry. It's decent. Okay, so let's do support rune again. Let's do Desperate Punch. Desperate Punch is daggone powerful when you need it. And the thing about it, especially for the Samurai fight for speed runs, it is very useful. You do a lot more damage on your blood punches when you need that help right there. But ideally, you don't get that low anyway. And ideally, you stack back up when you need. So, circumstantial. It's really powerful at the right times. But other than that, man, it's just not that great. All right, let's jump over to Chrono Strike. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Chrono Strike is very, very powerful. People don't realize just how powerful it is. It is more than just a rune to slow down your time and improve your aim. It's very good for that, but that's just the thing. It helps you against blood makers. I just made a video on that. It's the Samurai fight. It's a lifesaver in that regard, which makes it upwards of S tier. But the thing about it that you have to look at is, yes, you get the aiming, and it helps you kill your target. But you also get the time on the battlefield to think about your surroundings and say, all right, this is what I'm going to do here. This is what I can do there. It's more than the aiming. And like in the gladiator fight, when you're trying to process what this guy's doing and watching his attacks super fast come at you, there's so much more power to this rune, and people don't use it because it kind of slows down the flow of Eternal. And for that reason, it's probably going in really useful, or we'll put it in lifesavers, because it's legitimately one of the most powerful runes out there if you use it right. Oh, what about Equipment Fiend? Okay, so EQ Fiend is good. I used to use it. You do get stuff back from it, which is great, including, which is really cool, if you do a Flaming Meat Hook, you get Flame Belch armor back. But they've ran the numbers, Bowser and some speedrunners have, and it's just not that much back. And it messes with your natural timings if you have that too. It's completely up to you if you do that, but ultimately, I can see how it would help, but I'm really not too stoked about it. I left it for another rune. Which rune did I leave it for? You'll see here in just a second. We need to talk about Break Blast. So the thing about Break Blast is when you bust that weak point and it does that big old falter, that's pretty cool. When we look at tag 1, I would say it's circumstantial, very A. It's not awful. It's just not that great. But with the advent of tag 2, you're breaking a lot more weak points to get that hammer, and maybe you are breaking other weak points and faltering, just a whole chaos to get your hammer back. We'll put it as B. I'm really torn between B and C, honestly. Gosh, I wish there was options in between that I made. We'll leave it as B. Dazed and Confused. This one is so good because you have that time on the battlefield when they're staggered to focus on something else, to take them down more, to make it over to them. Combine it with Seek and Destroy, swap it in and out. People don't swap runes enough in Doom Eternal, and man, it is so useful if you do. Whenever I did 2016 Pistol Only No Equipment, I swapped out Glory Kill runes all the time. So the thing about Dazed and Confused, if you want a meat hook node, you got one. You take a Cacodemon, pop a sticky in his mouth, or a frag if you got good aim, play basketball, whatever. You have a meat hook node that you can fly around the arena with. So yeah, Dazed and Confused is one of the greatest. It kind of is a lifesaver, but it's also really useful. We'll go, oh man, I feel so bad. I really feel like I shouldn't be doing that right now. I feel like I've betrayed the rune I use. We'll see. I have Chrono as S tier because literally it has such an impact if you use it well, but at some point I feel like that you can kind of go beyond that and not need it anymore, but dang it, it's still good. All right, Air Control. Air Control changes the natural Slayer's movement because he moves a certain way, and therefore it is E, awful. Just kidding, we need to move it up the list. This is a rune that you use all literally of the time when you're playing. You're moving along all of the time, so it needs to be moved up. Well, wait a minute. You use this in battle a lot to dodge attacks that you normally wouldn't be able to dodge as easily. That makes it pretty good too. But wait a minute. This lets you move around and do just so much survival. That's the key. The key to this is survival. It's not so much the fact that it's fun, you can just move around and have a good time. It's not so much that. It's simply because you stay alive longer with this rune, at least I do. You're able to jump in and out of fire that you normally would not be able to do. And you know what? Freaking S tier, #1 rune, best in the game. We're going to move this one up here too, dang it, because I just have to. And then we're going to put, I don't know, no, we're not going to do that. And if you become a channel member, you get a cool badge beside your name and you support this channel and what we do here, and I'm ever so grateful for it. My name's Allstin. Check out my next tier list on the screen here of super weapons. Thank you for watching.